Hello everyone, welcome back to the Kirklees Guitar School Podcast. In today's episode, we say goodbye to Ozzy Osbourne, we talk about timing, and I accidentally bought a Les Paul Custom. Stick around. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Kirklees Guitar School Podcast, episode 3 of season 2. I'm joined with my co-host, Mr. George Loveridge. How you doing, George?
I'm uneasy.
You're uneasy?
I've got an axe here, and you don't. We're literally just about to film, and you've put a case in front of me, and you're not starting with the guitar. So whether you're in protest, but I'm all right. Other than that, how are you? Are you okay?
I'm good. I'm good. As this all shall be revealed.
Okay.
We nearly lost it, but you nearly found out by mistake. But we'll check it out in a second. Rock or roll? How's your week been?
100% rock. It's been a hell of a week. I'm 5 countries deep since I last saw you.
Amazing.
We had our gig. We spoke about this in episode 1 and 2. We have had our gig now. We had a lot of people who watched the show and in the Facebook group performing on stage, which is awesome to see those guys. So well done.
I'll put some photos on screen now that we got. It was one of the better ones that we've done, 100%. And everybody absolutely smashed it. If you played at the gig, let us know in the comments below, because there's quite a few familiar faces of not only the YouTube comments but also the Facebook group that got up and played with us, which is pretty cool.
My band, MOW, I had my partner singing with us and Alf on drums. Everyone did a really good job. We unloaded all the gear and I got home at 12:30. You then went back to the venue to get a few more bits.
Quarter to 3, I got into bed Sunday morning. So it was a late one.
I was then up at 6 to get to Manchester for 9 to gig. Got back from Manchester at 4 and then drove down to Dover ahead of a 2,300 mile road trip through France, Italy, Switzerland and Monaco, which was wicked, like unbelievable. I think I listened to my whole music library about 5 times.
If you don't mind, George, I'll put a couple of those.
I'll send you some.
It's absolutely breathtaking stuff.
It's as a petrol head, it was what a trip, and just to listen to all my music. I listened to this show actually on the way back from the ferry on Sunday, episode 2, because it had just gone live that morning. But 100% rock. I'm still sort of on a bit of a high from that. Wish I'd taken a guitar with me, but it makes me cringe a little bit to be that guy that in the Airbnb whips out his guitar and plays some tunes.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah, definitely. It's 100%. Like, we know you play guitar. But hey, if you want to take a guitar on holiday, that's fine. It's just not for me.
I've got a week booked in a couple of weeks' time, and we're staying in. We're going in our car, so I might take that little Enya with me. We'll see.
Yeah, why not?
As a little bit of a road test, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Literally, yeah. So I'm rocking. Are you the same?
It's been an awesome week.
Yeah.
Normally when George goes off on holiday,
which doesn't happen that often. I've had 2 in the past year, and they were both within a month of each other.
Something dramatic happens, or I really need something, or one thing or another, and I go, George, but you want that. But no, it's been pretty good this time. But it cost me a bloody fortune you being off this week. I'll tell you why, because of what's in that case. Okay. I've had the best. I've had the best week ever. So let me take your Telecaster.
Okay.
I want you to open that case for me, please.
Okay. Well, it's like Christmas. There's some weight to it. I was going to say we got away with it once. We said, "Can you guess what it is yet?" in a strange accent, but we're not allowed to say stuff like that.
Now.
Is that it?
There's one more on the back.
One more on the back.
Towards me.
There we go. Okay. Live unboxing. Yeah. Oh, okay. So I presume you've got a black Les Paul with gold hardware.
Not just any Les Paul.
It feels old. When you take the case.
We didn't think this through.
No, we didn't. It's all live here. Okay. A custom shop LP.
A Les Paul Custom.
Okay. You mentioned something like this on Want of the Week months ago. It was a black, and we said, would it be a bit garish with the white binding?
It was that guitar.
Okay, do tell.
I won't name names because he watches the podcast.
So it's your fault.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is. Somebody I teach got it in some sort of unusual circumstances, let's say that, and then sort of put it under his bed and forgot about it. which you could say, how do you forget about a guitar like that? If you understood the story, you'd understand.
Okay, yeah. I've got a Lamborghini in my garage, whatever.
I get people come to me. It's happened on more than one occasion because I'm a bit of an old soul. I like old instruments. You like old instruments as well. Yeah. And I get people come in occasionally and go, I've got this old guitar, this old Gibson or Fender guitar. Can you tell me a little bit more about it? Now, I don't know how many of us listeners know that there's so many counterfeit Gibsons around.
Oh, yeah.
It's a really big problem.
Chibson.
Yes, Chibson. You know,
colloquially known.
Yes, they're so you can buy Gibson copies that look just like Gibsons made in the Far East for a tenth of the price. Well, even more now, to be honest. Around £300 you can procure one for. So not even Epiphone money, less than Epiphone money. And it looks like the real thing. And people import those guitars and then sell them on the second-hand market as real. Now, I've seen some horrible ones where you can spot a mile off, but I have also seen some very good ones that if you were just looking on Facebook Marketplace, you wouldn't know. So, first of all, James, found this guitar. I need to know, is it real? And roughly what kind of value could I expect to get it on the second-hand market?
So your cost told him it was cheap and it was worth a £5.
No, we came to a very, very fair deal, in my opinion, and I'm sure he thinks the same. Otherwise, he wouldn't have let it go.
Fair dues.
We've both done okay. You know, it was a nice little meeting point for the middle of us.
Yeah.
But so he let me play the guitar for a little bit. I played it through his session, through his group class that he had, and then we sort of had. I have a 15-minute buffer between most of my classes in case of anything queries and one thing or another. So I've got some good news and some bad news. He's like, oh no. I'm like, it's a real one. So that's your good news. The bad news is I want to buy it. So we managed to work something out. Now I'll put a picture on the screen. It had a load of aftermarket parts on it.
Yeah, because if you're listening, it's a black LP with gold hardware, 3-ply bindings, the interesting trapezoid inlays. Not seen those in that style before.
Have you not?
They're usually a bit more square.
It's a thing. My 355's like that.
Right.
As
Okay.
well. Yeah. It's a sort of late 50s thing. Now it's not. It's a custom. It's a Les Paul Custom, which they all came out of the custom shop. It's not like that gold top that I use sometimes. No. It's not an R series guitar. Sometimes they're mistaken for R7s, but it's not. So I got it on Wednesday and I put it straight out to work. On Thursday, I played at somebody's wedding in York and took it, and I just smiled like a little boy all night. I just had the best gig ever. And I've not put it down. I don't know if you remember saying in Series 1 when you got your little Katana Go, and you said you'd just never been as excited to go home and play the guitar.
Yeah, were you the same?
I'm 100% the same.
Good.
You know, so I'm... my savings account's taken a massive kick in, but it's so worth it, you know? So, yeah, that's...
Did it start with a 1 or a 2?
I'm not telling you.
Okay, fair enough. Because did your wife watch this show?
Occasionally
she does.
It was an interesting conversation, yeah. I said to I went home on Wednesday and I put a case down, and this case is very similar to another guitar that I use that I often take home.
Just have one case.
Well, no, you just get them all the
same. Yeah.
And I was like, I accidentally bought a guitar. She's like, what do you mean you accidentally bought a guitar? And I told her the tale. And anyway, no, she's really cool with that kind of stuff. It's not a big deal, and I won't put us in that position.
No,
you know,
yeah.
I won't. It won't have. If I couldn't, if I
You're not quite a magpie.
I'm quite easy to. I'm quite good at saying no when I need to stuff like this. But I do think it just came at the right time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll put a picture on of what it looked like beforehand. It had a load of white and cream hardware on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it didn't not my taste, I must say, but it looks $1 million now with with what is it? And considering I have use of 4 of these now, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
They all sound completely different. And I think one day it might be worth. Let us know in the comments below if you want a sound comparison between all 4 of them.
4 top dollar LPs.
Yeah, and just to see how different they all are, because it's easy for me to say, but they are genuinely all different and sound completely different. I was just we were sound checking because I didn't want to show you this before.
You sound checked on your other Les Paul.
So I sound checked with the Burst, and it'll sound completely different with that guitar. It'll be really interesting in the playback to hear what it sounds like. So yeah, that was my week. Absolutely killer week.
And now while we're on a black humbucker device guitar, Ozzy left us this week.
He did.
We're now in real time. So we're filming this week, and it's going live this week. It was Tuesday. He left us last week. And I was in France. I had about 5 texts. I'm sure you did the same. And the Facebook group was alive. And yeah, we were just talking about him in episode 1, weren't we?
So a lesson on Paranoid went out last
Very
Friday.
fitting, very fitting.
Very fitting. It was on the cards anyway, because it's a song that a lot of people want to learn, and it just sort of seemed right. But I'm kind of going now, it's done really well. Now, I don't tend to chase views. I want people to get the most out of what we do. Yeah. But because I've been playing so much guitar, and I'm a massive Black Sabbath fan, that's all I've been playing all week. So I'm kind of like, well, do I do War Pigs this week? We'll see. It depends whether I can get to it. I've already got quite a lot going on this week, but yeah, it's it kind of makes you think. Yeah, probably held out for
just until the end.
Yeah. But with all that great guitar music that's come out of it,
100%,
definitely worth it. Right, what's on the agenda for today? But first, just a reminder of our live show. Kirklees Guitar School Live is coming to Denbydale Pie Hall on Saturday the 8th of November. Head to the link in the description to grab your tickets before they all sell out.
So, this week's show, we're looking at our technical focus first of all. We're looking at timing, something that is overlooked by literally every guitar player you'll ever meet. We just want to play fast, hard, and loud. Ooh, matron. But yeah, counting to 4, all that sort of stuff. So we've got a metronome on set, we've got some drumsticks. I was doing this with a student yesterday, and you can sort of see it going over the head a little bit, like why I can play so much better than this. But if you can't do your basic stuff, there is no point. It makes the rest of your playing worthless.
It's a massive part of being not only a good guitar player, but a good musician.
100%.
Being able to play in time.
Yeah, so from our technical focus, looking at timing, we've got a bit of tone talk. We haven't talked about this whatsoever. Gone but not forgotten players. I think we should talk about.
On the crib sheet.
We just have a little chat about some cool players, I think. And then pick our brains. I'm going to go through, grab my phone out rather rudely and look at some comments from the other episodes. Just have a little chat about that. Then, of course, we've got the jam to finish the show.
Excellent.
So should we have a bit of a switcheroo?
Yeah, I don't want you to play that for too long. Otherwise, you might
want
be
it.
Coming home with you. I
Yeah,
absolutely won't, but you might be wishing. Right.
Fantastic. So I'll get this telly plug back in and we'll give it a go.
So, timing then, George.
Time for timing.
What do you mean by good timing? What does good timing mean?
By good timing, I mean playing in time. Now, what do I mean by that? I think it's 99% of Western music is in time signature of 4/4. 4 beats to a bar, which is when you listen to a song, there's a pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. By playing in time, we are adhering to that code. If you've got 4 beats in a bar, we are playing on all 4 of those beats. Now, as other players, you'll know that sometimes that switches up. If you take something by Daft Punk, for example, Nile Rodgers, you can still have that 4/4 pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4. But he's playing
1, 2,
but there's still that
3,
pulse in the
4.
background. Yeah, we talk about strumming patterns a lot. You then get ska music, which is on, and reggae, which is on beats 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Is it 1 and 3 or is it 2 and 4? Have I misremembered?
It's actually on the and. 1,
and 2.
And
Yeah,
3.
okay.
That's called the offbeat.
The offbeat. Basically, we need to adhere to this. We tried it once where you tried to do a click and I tried to play out of it and I physically couldn't. It's like I'm trying to think of a real world example. It's like driving on the wrong side of the road. You just can't. It's dangerous. You shouldn't do it. We can't. Now we're in the system. We can't play out of time. So by playing in time, it's adhering to those rules, and we're hopefully going to try and divulge into that a little bit of how you can do it and how to find, I think more importantly, how to work out how you're not in time. Because we know a lot of players who will merrily play along and then we're finished 5 seconds before the song or the riff because they've run ahead a little bit.
Okay, I think I've conveniently, I've just been working on this. I've done a whole module for the... I'd asked quite a lot of students on the Facebook group, what you're struggling with for something that's coming out in the autumn that I'm trying to put together. And I'm putting together essentially a music theory course for guitarists. Not for most of them are for pianists.
Okay.
For guitarists and all guitar speak. Now, in preparation for this, I looked at... I'm going somewhere with this. I know I'm doing that thing where I go off around the houses. In preparation for this, we have a library upstairs, don't we, of books that I've collected over my career. There's probably 100 books in this bookcase, and I picked out 5 or 6 books that were all to do with music theory. Specifically, 3 of those 5 books were music theory for guitar, and they all talked about piano. Anyway. So I'm reading through these books just to kind of get an idea of how they're laid out, and for more like structure. I have the ideas. I struggle to commit those things to paper in an orderly fashion. That's why George helps me out with that stuff. But by the second page of all those books, they were already in topics that were far too deep. They were already talking about things that they hadn't given the student chance to digest the absolute basics. And I think people comment all the time. We've had a lot of new people join us since I posted the Black 100%. Sabbath lesson, which is really good. But a lot of people say, I love it how you break it down so slowly.
I love the comments saying this guy goes on forever, and you blew him a kiss.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's just like I'm not going to be for everybody, but that's what we're missing. Like, you need to do it in bite-sized chunks and make it memorable. But it's one of those where it's kind of like, if you come to see us for a lesson, I will teach you a concept. It'll go in, and then rather than going, right, here's something else to pile on top of that, I go, right, let's use that, and let's use it so that and actually you're going to sit on that all week, and then come back to me and I'll go, so what does that mean again? And you go, oh yeah, it's so. And I go, right, then we put the
then you
next
move
bit on.
Absolutely.
You know? And that's where being a good guitarist and being a good teacher are 2 completely different things. You need to be able to make it this big. We say it every week.
I think we teach people here to be musicians as well as guitarists. In my book, that's 2 different things.
But I had a comment on my what's that Eagles one?
Life in the Fast Lane.
Life in the Fast Lane. Great tune. And you know when you get a comment from somebody and you can tell, caps lock's on, and you can tell it's been written with both index fingers and punched into the keyboard.
Yeah.
You're just teaching people numbers. It's like, well, yeah. But it's where you go after that. If you're just thinking sevens and fives, yeah, you're never going to get any better than that. But also, some people don't want any more than that. Anyway,
that's a good
all
point.
around the houses, back to it. I've been working through this bite-sized theory module, which is essentially going to be 12 lessons that all compound upon each other to the point where when you get to the end of it, you've got a rudimentary grade 1 level of understanding of music theory, but not for piano, not just to know it, but actually how that fits on your guitar. People say I want to learn the fretboard, but they don't know anything about music theory, and it's kind of like, well, actually...
You can't, it's not just numbers.
You need to... What's the point of learning all the notes if you don't know how to use them, right? So I'm going through this, and I'm thinking, well, what's the very, very first thing that anybody needs to recognise in music? And I'd say it was the pulse. That's the absolute place to start. And I think everybody should do this. So if you... could you play me something that's quite up-tempo, George? Right, I'm hoping this is going to come through. I like to use drumsticks for this just because it's different.
2, 3, 4.
Don't worry about 1s and 2s and 3s and 4s. Stop falling, please. You need to be able to find that heartbeat.
That's never going to change.
That's never going to change. Like, don't worry about counting 1s and 2s and 3s and 4s and 6s and 9s and 12s. Don't worry about that. Worry about where the pulse is. Can you play me something else, please?
Ooh.
Sorry, I know I'm putting you on the spot.
I can play so many songs, but you just think...
But what I'd like the audience to do at home, you're going to feel like a bit of a numpty doing this at home. What I'd like you to do is just tap. Try and find the pulse on your knee at home for me.
You forget everything. Okay.
Have you got it yet? Keep going for me, George. I'm going to go around again and I'm going to jump in this time and see if you got it right.
I think we got there.
Yeah. How do you practice that?
Oh, really good point. You use a metronome, but with the tapping thing, if you're unsure, it's feeling because it's cognitive. You feel that pulse, that inertia going round. That's what I think anyway. And if you can't feel, unpopular opinion, but I think if you can't do that I know that's quite difficult because I'm picking, but if I were to play 4 downstrokes on a chord, if you can't fit that 1, 2, 3, 4, we need to have words.
Yeah, but you've got to teach somebody how to do that. And some people have a lot better timing than others. And I used to jokingly say it had a lot to do with how much time you spent in a nightclub drunk dancing in your 20s, which neither of us did, but we've got okay timing. So it's kind of like it's one of those.
How are we finding it then?
So every opportunity that you've got over the next week between episode 3 of the podcast and episode 4, if something's on, if it's on the radio in the car, tap the top of the steering wheel. If it's on the telly at home, tap along to it. If you come across something, music in the supermarket, just kind of go. You don't have to sit there. You don't have to stand there in between the vegetables going. Come on.
Hey, food reference. We knew we'd get there.
Clapping like a seal.
When you're buying your sports car tyres as well.
That's it.
When the radio's on in the garage.
We're on it today, aren't we, George? But can you just take a moment and just go, where is the pulse? Now, I can't stress enough. Don't worry about where beat 1 is.
Yeah.
Just find that pulse. And if you can do that on command within probably the first sort of 5 to 10 seconds of listening to a piece of music, then you're ready for the next bit. Then the next bit is where's beat 1.
Sort of before we picked up the guitar, this stuff.
Yeah.
It's something I should do in lessons, but when we have prospective students, we want to show them how to play Smoke on the Water in 10 minutes because that's our hook, if you like,
This is
to
what's
start.
achievable.
Yeah.
So beat 1, what do we mean by beat 1? So as George mentioned earlier, there's 4 beats in a bar. Now, you can have 3 beats in a bar, you could have 8 beats in a bar, you can have as many beats in a bar as you like, but most things that you want to learn how to play are going to have 4 beats in the bar. And when we count along to most things, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And what's so special about beat 1, George?
That's the start. That's the start of everything. It always comes in on number 1.
9 times out of 10, the music will start on beat 1. But also, if anything changes, like a chord or a new section, chances are, it doesn't always, but it's going to start on beat 1, right? Metronomes. Lots of people buy them, and then they go in the cupboard to die.
Yeah.
I like this metronome. I hate things that bing and bong. You ever got sat inside a BMW and it does nothing but just bong at you? Bong, bong, this is wrong, that's wrong. I just feel like I'm being told off all the time. It's like being at home.
See, I use an online metronome in my lessons. I just Google metronome. There's one on Google. In fact, if you Google metronome, it'll come on and it'll drive you mad, but it really helps.
I like the wood sounding metronome. A bit of ASMR for you. Now, I'm not holding it level, so that's why it's a little bit, it's lolloping a
free
little
time
bit.
Is what we call that, yeah.
But I like that noise. Now, that's your pulse, effectively, isn't it?
So if I went back to that Hotel California, or even 2, 3,
like the intro.
4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, and even that Daft Punk. You can hear that syncopation in there, which means off the beat, because he's our beat down there.
But what we mean by beat 1 is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause that for a second, and I'm really hoping all this is coming through, otherwise we're going to waste a lot of time. I've moved something on the side of this metronome, which means that the metronome's going to chime. It's got like a clock mechanism.
Oh, yeah. Chimes on number 1.
And it's going to chime on beat number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2.
A lot of people like that, you know.
And it helps, but subconsciously, that's what's happening in my brain all the time, whether I'm playing Candy or whether I'm playing, I've been learning how to, I mentioned that I might do a lesson on War Pigs. I was learning that last night. Mm-hmm. And you know the big kind of...
Isn't that in a weird time signature, though?
It's in 6/4. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Jump in with me, why not?
Remember it.
But it gives you that sort of
That's space. Because you got the air raid siren as well.
But then when you go to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Because it's 2 bars, isn't it?
It's 2 bars.
2 bars of
correct.
rest.
Yeah, that's why I'm counting to 8.
Luckily we get the hi-hat to count us in for that. But that's a really good one to practice, actually.
Really good example. But I think as well, like, if you can establish where the pulse is and you can establish where beat 1 is, that's a really good start. And then lots of people don't like practicing with the metronome because it's difficult.
It's very studious. Very studious.
But just like we did, I'm going to take the chime off there, right? If I set that going, I'm going to speed it up a little bit. How I practice with a metronome, because there's 2 ways to practice with a metronome when most of our listeners and as viewers are in the place where they're trying to get chord changes that little bit quicker, whether it's open chords or bar chords, or they're trying to improve, get faster, play more fluid. Has it ever sort of occurred to you that you could put a metronome on and just try and play along to it rather than trying to use it as a unit of measurement? We spoke about this in practice routines last week, didn't we? Of being able to measure something. I can play this at 40 BPM, 50 BPM, 60 BPM, etc. There's a number. That's one way to practice with it. But also, your internal timing, just put the metronome on and try and play along to it. And it's going to be really difficult when you start.
Because there's nothing else going on.
But can you go... Oh, I've still got my overdrive on. That's probably not the best example. But could we go...
So I used this before our gig. For those of you who were there, our staff band did Dead or Alive, Bon Jovi. And I played the 12-string part.
Yeah.
And in the rehearsal, I just went in blind and I sort of went... I played it... and then when the drums came in, we were... to the real speed. So I Googled the BPM of that song and set my internal timing.
Yes.
So I played to the...
Do it again, but see if you can find the pulse.
I'm just going to start at a random point. Trick people. But the point being there is, if you listen to our recording, I played that much quicker than the drummer, who, that's what he says goes.
Yeah.
He was, it's all the same. It was a real sort of clash. Mm-hmm. But I use that metronome to set that internal you get conditioned to it. And I'm a big believer, if you used to hearing that,
yes,
you will get used to it. If you drive your car all the time in a certain seat position, someone else drives it, you know instantly. Yeah. I mean, if you can't actually get in and your face is against the windscreen, then...
Yeah, most of the time I try and get in my wife's car, to be fair. It's it's like a borrower's been in it. So I think...
Okay.
That's missed out a lot, is that?
It's because we're trying to shorten these episodes a bit with quality rather than quantity.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people just aren't interested in doing this because it is boring. I was doing this with a student yesterday, 3-chord song, and I sort of could tell by their body language they're thinking, but I'm better than this. And I think that if you can't get something in time, whether it's just 4 strums or a strumming pattern, nothing else is worth it. You need to be able to do this.
It's
your primer.
Skills. It's key skills,
we have a student who's a bodywork guy. It's your key in. It's your primer. Mm-hmm. You could put gloss over a rusty piece of metal and it's going to look crap. Yeah. You need to do your prep work first.
So what should our listeners be? How can our listeners, what we've talked about today, how can our listeners implement what we've talked about into their practice this week?
Good question. Take something simple that you already know. Brown Eyed Girl, BS Bingo continued on the podcast.
You hadn't mentioned that for quite a while, actually.
Yeah. I got an electric shock, actually, when I just said it. Take something simple. We've said this before, playing for enjoyment. If you've got something that you've mastered, slow it down and try and play it. Someone in the group was playing Run To You, I can't remember who, and they just didn't quite, I haven't got my capo on, but they were sort of going... There's actually intervals between those notes. Someone was playing Wishing Well, and they were doing it on their own. So they were... This is all from Feedback Friday, where people submit. So if you were playing Wishing Well, they were going... It's like, whoa, there's 2 bars before that E chord.
Like...
You're just in your head like, right, I've done the intro, so I want to go... 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there's another 2 bars. 2, 3, 4. And then you stab. You want to wait for that.
We were just getting ahead ever so slightly.
Because we couldn't quite hear it in the room.
We're all, but we're only human. We're
you
all
make a mistake.
capable of it. And that's the only thing, like, if I get another 20 years down this rabbit hole of playing the guitar, which I fully intend on doing, the only thing that I practice now that I will still be practicing in double the amount of time that I've currently spent playing the guitar will be timing.
Oh, 100%.
You've got to keep it topped up.
I used to do it. I was guilty. You learn a new riff, Thunderstruck, Wishing Well, whatever, and it's a tick list in your head. You sort something like War Pigs. You're gonna go right. Okay, so I've got the first bit. Then I'm going to do the next bit and the next bit. And there's the time in between it because as a guitarist, we're so eager to jump. Like your lead class did Sultans of Swing and they nailed it.
Yeah, smashed it, didn't they?
Absolutely nailed it. And Hotel California, Alan, didn't know you had it in you, mate, if you watch it. Honestly, but the timing was there because you learned Sultans of Swing and there's so many gaps in the solo. It'd be so easy to go from point A to B to C, but you've got to wait for your cue. And
I've had a bit of an epiphany that bolts onto that this week. So we all
took
know
those pills too, do you?
I say all the time, I like to use Moises. I've been using Moises a lot. Like it's one of the main programs that I use all the time now, and I'm really, really into it. And we did the. He says. I learnt the solo, taught the lesson, and then I still had the solo. And I still had it in the back of my head, and I was like, I've taught it, and I can play it, but if I was asked to play it at a gig, it's not right. Okay. Like, I'm not as fluent in it. Now, I've not played today at all. We're sort of always 9 a.m.
I think about this all the time. When we get to the jam, I think, I'm not ready.
Yeah.
When I finish teaching at the end of 6 hours of a day, I can rule the world with playing. Well,
but it's being able to play something like that on command from cold, but also I've been stripping the guitar tracks out of Moises, and Iommi's playing with Sabbath, and he's the only player on the gig. So I'm going, right, strip all those guitars out, and I have nothing to lean on. And all of a sudden, little James was a little fish isolated in a very big pond.
Yeah.
And it's made me really kind of reevaluate how I practice. So although we've done the Sabbath lesson, a week removed from me filming it, I'm still practicing it because I want to get it right, and I want to be able to go, we're playing. See, but that's the acid test. It's like, can I do it? No, I'm can I do it note for note
from a random
cold?
point? Yeah.
You see what I mean? Like, it just starts to unravel a little bit at the end, and it's kind of like, actually, if somebody sat opposite me and played that, I'd be like, that is so good, but it's not right.
Yeah, I agree. You said you'd done it, and now you're still practicing it. In lessons, we can get to a really nice conclusive point, whether it's My Girl, The Temptations, or Thunderstruck AC/DC, where we're like, yeah, we've done it 100% speed. I can bet my next mortgage payment that they won't be able to play it the same in a month. Because you sort of get to the top of the ladder and then you don't play it.
And repertoire management's a massive thing,
it's so, especially younger learners, they want it now, but they're not looking at something we did in September.
I spent so long learning how to do the solo properly for the Smoke on the Water lesson, and I'm going to have to go back and relearn it.
Yeah, I learned Sultans of Swing properly 3 years ago.
He says.
And then you got. I haven't played that for ages. I haven't needed to. If I want, I'm case in point. I learned it. I could play that 100% speed without a pick. I went down that rabbit hole with it. You need to be able to keep stuff. I always say to people, this is what I used to do, Saturday morning or whenever you want to do your long practice, get your book out, with all your folders, sheets, and go through one by one after the other. See if you can play through them, because you're going to forget it.
I use Spotify playlists and put them on
Shuffle.
shuffle.
Yeah, and see, I used to do that in lockdown. Yeah, definitely. I'd press shuffle and be like, oh, it's Hard Day's Night. I'm like, oh, bugger.
But then, I mean, I'm going to get it in this week's podcast before you do. But like, you know, if you're coming across, you know, I've got my function band playlist on, and
Damn, you've got a full row now in BS Bingo.
but when that comes round and you're not ready for it, it really kind of chucks you off if you're not.
I have that
careful.
at gigs. So we had a gig just after the KGS gig, and we hadn't had one for 2 weeks, and we didn't practice. We just sort of rocked up. I've got a few chord sheets that we do working my way back to you.
Oh, wow, okay, yeah.
And that's got many chords in.
I haven't played that song for years. I used to play it in a band a
Yeah,
lot.
with capo 5th fret, with the burning love inside. There's a lot of chords in
D
that.
minor. I'm working my way,
But you,
working my way back to you. Anyway,
but I just can't remember all the chords. Guilty, hold my hand up. So I've got a few chord sheets that help. Kiss Me, Sixpence None the Richer. Lovely song, that. Oh, it's in E flat. Lovely song, but again, so many chords. But there's a couple of songs. Katie will look at me and she'll go, right, Be My Baby. I'm like, oh, yeah. And you sort of go in blind and hope that your muscle memory picks you up. The Ronettes.
The Ronettes, yeah. That's I was thinking of the Supremes, and I'm like, the Supremes are my guilty
Can't
pleasure
Hurry Love.
band. I absolutely love it. I don't know what it is about it. I just think it's awesome.
Yeah, we did. We had a wedding, and yes, singer, my other half, she said, right, and now it was Crazy Little Thing Called Love next on the set list. She went, we've got a bit of Elvis for you now. I went, okay. Because that Elvis did not do Crazy Little Thing Called Love.
Yeah, that's happened a few times. Or
I miss one in the set all the time. I look at it and go, thank you very much, everyone. Yeah, we enjoyed that. So if you've seen The Breakfast Club, here's Simple Minds. It's actually meant to be Need You Now, Lady Anthrobellum. Right. But I've missed a song, and the singer's like, right. Okay.
I'm really good at. In fact, it happened on Thursday when I took this to a gig. Everybody from the band was expecting.
James
good.
Brown.
Great tune, and what they got was. You don't like. I look around and go, "Yeah, nailed that." And all the rest of the band are just doing that, and they're like, "Oh, sorry."
Whoops, sorry. I guess it's Johnny. Yeah, there are some songs in a band where, like that Johnny, it's such an imposing intro. There's no going back.
Yeah, you've just got to.
But a song like that in a function band, everyone has played that more times than Hot Dinners.
But they've not played it right. That's my bugbear. I'm sick of people playing it.
I used to do it in the band. I used to do it wrong. What I was guilty of. What I did one was I never went into the major. I just made it up. Yeah.
I mean, and I'll admit, you go
the solo.
Go. Yeah, well, I'll go.
Do you do a passing bend?
But because I'm the only guitarist on the gig, it'll go, go, Johnny, go. Because I've got to try and do two guitar parts.
I used to fill it out with a.
That's a good idea, yeah.
And then, you sort of do your octaves with the walking bass line.
Or I'll be guilty of when I go to the 4 chord, I'll go.
Bit of status quo in there, yeah.
But then I'll put some sort of. And playing it with a lot more distortion than Chuck Berry would as well.
I've got another question for you.
Yes.
How the hell did we get here?
I don't know.
We're talking about timing. We need to. I don't know how we've ended up here.
Timing, let us know down below.
For all three of you who are still watching.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I'm working on a theory course at the minute that should be available in the autumn that's going to go through this and give you kind of real world examples of how all this fits. So, should we move on to pick our brains?
Yes, so we haven't necessarily had any people asking questions, but I thought I'd go through a couple of comments.
I think it might just be worth, before we do that, is we've moved over to the new channel, and thank you for those of you that we had a really good response from the first episode.
It's working.
Double.
The algorithm's working.
It absolutely is, but help us even more by telling YouTube that this is great by liking the video and subscribing to the channel.
If everyone who watched that first episode subscribed, we'd be doing all right. And it's not about numbers. We're not chasing numbers.
No, absolutely not.
It just helps push it out into the ether.
We just want to help more of you. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
And we had a lot of you say, yeah, Albatross is how I found you guys, or Johnny Be Good was how I found, and that's SEO, search engine optimization.
So, and if you've got any comments, if you've got anything that you specifically want us to talk about on the podcast, the YouTube comments is the best place to put that. So please do.
Because the Facebook group is a closed door thing.
Yeah, and everyone's more than welcome to join, but it's not as, since we moved over to the website and all the tabs being available on the website, we've not had as many people coming through. There's still people coming through, and we're still having a great time over there, but it's definitely slowed down a little bit, but it's all part of the bigger plan. So what's the community been on about this week?
So this is in the YouTube comments. Stephen Neal has says, lovely, Sunday ironing kids' school uniform hasn't been the same without this. So I listen to podcasts when I do ironing and when I do long drives. So I'm glad you're enjoying the podcast while you're doing your ironing. Don't know how you manage to hold your guitar up while you're ironing on a strap, but yeah, I like that, especially with smart TVs and stuff.
Yeah.
Smart. I know someone commented about going on BBC Sounds.
Yes.
I don't think that is possible.
I think you've got to be...
BBC.
Yes, you've got to be BBC.
If you've got an iPhone, Apple Podcasts are free.
Yeah.
And you can download it. And you're on there. We're on Spotify
on YouTube,
as well.
we're on Amazon, we're on everything. Except BBC Sounds.
MFN697 says, you guys are great. You guys are great. I listen while on town hikes. So that's an interesting one, going on a long walk and putting the show on. That's cool.
I used to do that quite a lot, yeah. You just sort of in your own little cocoon, letting the world go by. I enjoy those walks. Yeah, thanks for watching.
The final one to comment is nbrad100. I'm bringing him up because we're going to meet him in November.
Right.
nbrad100 lives in Spain.
Okay.
He's not only bought a ticket for the gig, he's bought a plane ticket.
Oh, amazing.
So, yeah, looking forward to meeting you, nbrad100, in November at the gig.
Coming all the way from Spain.
All the way from Spain.
To Denby Dale.
Yes.
Excellent. So
you
just
will be disappointed by the sights of Denby Dale, but
the podcast will leave you wanting more, though.
Absolutely.
More Thank you for that, Brad. And yeah, just a reminder, there are still a handful of tickets available for the podcast.
If we haven't put our cringy pre-recorded section in already, this is the reminder.
It's probably already gone in, but this is another one. A couple of students of the school that come to see us during the week have said, can we purchase a ticket directly from us at the school? I'm afraid not. You need to go to the link just like everybody else, and we'll do it all from there, please. It just helps us on our end a little bit. I know it's a little bit of a faff, but I'd appreciate it. If you do want to come, please do. Check the first link in the description, and we'll see you there on the 8th of November.
Yeah, so I'm just looking at our timestamp. We've been going a lot longer than usual today.
Okay.
So I think we've said we'd talk about gone but not forgotten players, but we'll leave Ozzy on a plinth for today, I think.
Maybe we kick that into episode 4.
Yeah, I think so.
Right. Should we leave that for today then, George?
Yeah, I think we should. So today was all about timing and songs we mess up while we're playing live. Finding the pulse.
Yeah, a little bit of timing, a lot of everything else, but it's all good. It's all good.
It is. Now, are you going to play as the chords for our outro or the passing bend right at the end?
I'll play the chords.
Fab.
Yeah, okay.
Fab.
Are you soloing? Okay.